Hello and welcome back to our channel. Today we were diving deep into a topic that affects nearly every one of us: the rising price of oil. You've probably noticed it at the gas pump, and maybe you're wondering why your wallet is feeling a bit lighter after every fill-up. The short answer: a complex and escalating conflict in the Middle East. But what does that really mean for you, for the global economy, and for the future? Let's break it down together. First, let's set the stage. The Middle East is home to some of the world's largest oil producers. Countries like Saudi Arabia, Iraq, and the United Arab Emirates are major players in the global energy market. A significant portion of the world's crude oil travels through a few critical maritime choke points in the region, most notably the Strait of Hormuz and the Bab el-Mandeb Strait. Think of these as the superhighways for oil tankers. When these routes are secure and traffic flows freely, the global oil market tends to be stable. But when there's trouble in the region, these superhighways can quickly turn into danger zones. Recently, escalating geopolitical tensions have done just that. The ongoing conflict has introduced a massive dose of uncertainty and risk into the equation. We're seeing attacks on commercial shipping vessels, which disrupts the normal flow of oil tankers. Shipping companies are now faced with a difficult choice: risk these dangerous routes or take a much longer, more expensive detour. Many are choosing the latter, rerouting their fleets around the entire continent of Africa. This detour adds thousands of miles and several weeks to the journey. And as you can imagine, that extra time and distance come with a hefty price tag. We're talking about higher fuel costs for the ships themselves, increased insurance premiums to cover the added risk, and additional operational expenses. These costs don't just disappear, they get passed down the supply chain. The company that refines the crude oil pays more, the distributor who transports the gasoline pays more, and ultimately, we, the consumers, pay more at the pump. It's a classic ripple effect, and it starts with a single disruption thousands of miles away. This isn't just a hypothetical situation. We're seeing real-world consequences right now. Major shipping giants have publicly announced they are diverting their vessels. Insurance companies that provide coverage for these voyages have hiked up their rates for any ships still willing to transit through the conflict areas. This risk premium is now a significant factor in the global price of oil. So, how do the markets react to all this? In one word: nervously. The oil market is famously sensitive to geopolitical events, especially in the Middle East. Traders and investors hate uncertainty. When they see a major supply route threatened, they start to worry about potential shortages. Will a key production facility be targeted? Could a major choke point be blocked entirely? This fear of a future supply crunch leads to what's known as speculative buying. Traders buy up oil contracts, betting that prices will go even higher. This surge in demand, driven by fear rather than actual immediate shortages, pushes prices up even further. We've seen this play out on the global oil benchmarks like Brent Crude and West Texas Intermediate, or WTI. Almost immediately after the conflict intensified, we saw prices jump. Every new headline, every report of another incident in the region sends another jolt through the market. This volatility makes it incredibly difficult for businesses and governments to plan for the future. Now, let's talk about the broader economic impact, because this goes way beyond just the price of gasoline. Oil is often called the lifeblood of the global economy, and for good reason. It's used to produce plastics, fertilizers, and countless other everyday products. It fuels the planes that carry goods and people, the trucks that deliver our packages, and the ships that connect global trade. When the price of this fundamental commodity goes up, the cost of doing almost everything else goes up too. This is what economists call inflationary pressure. Businesses that rely heavily on transportation, like logistics companies or airlines, see their operating costs soar. They may absorb some of this, but eventually they'll pass it on to their customers through higher prices. Manufacturers face higher costs for both energy and raw materials derived from petroleum. Even farmers are affected, as the cost of fertilizer and running farm equipment increases, which can lead to higher food prices. So, the conflict in the Middle East isn't just raising gas prices, it's potentially making your groceries, your plane tickets, and your online shopping more expensive. Governments around the world are watching this situation very closely. For oil-importing nations, like many in Europe and Asia, higher oil prices can strain their economies, widen their trade deficits, and fuel inflation. Central banks might be forced to keep interest rates higher for longer to combat this inflation, which can slow down economic growth. On the other hand, for oil-exporting countries, higher prices can be a massive financial windfall, boosting their national revenues. This creates a complex dynamic on the world stage, with clear winners and losers. So, what are the potential solutions or mitigating factors? The United States and other major economies have what's known as a Strategic Petroleum Reserve, or SPR. These are vast stockpiles of crude oil saved for emergencies. Releasing oil from these reserves can help temporarily increase supply and cool down prices. We've seen governments tap into these reserves during past crises. However, it's a short-term fix, not a permanent solution, and it can't completely offset a major, prolonged disruption. Another key player in this story is OPEC+, which stands for the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries and its allies, including Russia. This group of major oil-producing nations has the power to influence global prices by adjusting their collective production levels. If they decide to increase production, it can help offset supply fears and bring prices down. However, their decisions are often based on their own economic and political interests, and there's no guarantee they will act to lower prices, especially if they are benefiting from the higher revenues. Their meetings are watched with bated breath by the entire world. The current situation also highlights a much larger, ongoing conversation about energy security and the transition to renewable energy. The volatility of the oil market, so closely tied to the stability of one region, is a powerful argument for diversifying our energy sources. Investing in solar, wind, and other renewable technologies, as well as improving energy efficiency, can help reduce our dependence on fossil fuels. This would not only be beneficial for the environment, but would also make our economies less vulnerable to geopolitical shocks, like the one we're experiencing now. While this transition takes time and significant investment, every crisis like this one serves as a stark reminder of its importance. Looking ahead, the future of oil prices is incredibly uncertain and will hinge on how the conflict in the Middle East evolves. If there's a de-escalation and a return to stability, we could see shipping routes reopen and a risk premium evaporate, causing prices to fall. However, if the conflict widens and directly impacts major oil production facilities, or leads to a complete blockade of a choke point like the Strait of Hormuz, we could see prices skyrocket to levels not seen in years, triggering a potential global economic crisis. For now, we are in a state of heightened alert. Analysts are modeling various scenarios, but the reality is that we are reacting to events as they unfold. It's a delicate balance. The world has some spare production capacity that could be brought online, and strategic reserves provide a buffer. But a major, direct hit to oil infrastructure in the region would be a game changer. So, as you head to the pump this week and see those numbers ticking up, you now have a clearer picture of the global chess game behind it all. It's a story of geography, conflict, economics, and fear. It demonstrates just how interconnected our world is, where a conflict thousands of miles away can directly impact your daily life and your finances. We'll be keeping a close eye on this developing story, and will bring you updates as they happen. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this breakdown helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel for more in-depth analysis on the issues that matter. And as always, we'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Stay safe, and we'll see you in the next video.